Hey guys, Matt here, and today I am bringing you another episode of my series, How Did I Lose? Now, today I am bringing you guys a FAD gameplay on the map Terminal. Now, I want to discuss Terminal in a little bit, but first, this team I've been playing on, well not been playing on, the team I played with on this match was absolutely atrocious. And one thing that I really regret about this gameplay is the fact I didn't get a Moab in this gameplay, as for the first 2 minutes of the gameplay, I started off extremely, and I mean extremely strong. However, I faltered out, and because of that, I lost the streak. I did a move, and well, you'll see up ahead. But today I want to talk about not only the map, Terminal, but I also want to talk about the weapon buffs. Now, let me start off with the map. Back in Modern Warfare 2, I always absolutely hated Terminal. And for the life of me, I have no idea why they will ever bring it back. And it's just such a bad map, with just a terrible, terrible experience. Every time you get into a gunfight, it's usually in the same areas, whether it's in the airplane or by the burger shot, or across the Death Alley right here. And I don't quite get why people love this map so much, and why they brought it back. I guess like almost like the Nuketown syndrome, where even though it isn't a good map, everyone wants to play it. And I actually want to hear your feedback down below, whether or not you think Terminal is a good map, as I know actually a lot of people think it is, which surprises me actually, but whatever. Now, I kind of want to talk about the weapon buffs. For the majority of them, I actually really like them. Because of them, and because of the Sarah Pro buff too, I've actually really been getting back into this game, and I've been able to do a lot better because of it. And one of the main reasons why I stopped playing Modern Warfare 3, other than the fact that there was a lot of BS, was the fact that it just felt really stale, as I kept on using the same weapons over and over and over. It was always ACR and the MP5, with the PP90 and P90 every now and then. However, as of late, because of the weapon buffs, I've been using the MP5, the FAD, and the UMP a lot. And before anyone else asks, I have used the M16 and I have used the AK-47. I think the M16 is overpowered. Yeah, you heard it right. I think it's overpowered. I think it's just another Type 95. And it may even be a little bit worse, but whatever. And in terms of the AK-47, I still don't like it. I didn't like it before the patch, and I sure as hell don't like it now. And I just feel as if it's in a class of weaponry where it doesn't belong in this game. But I know some people like it, so I'm not gonna bash them for it. Now, in terms of the FAD and UMP, they have become my new go-to weapons. Now, the FAD in particular, as this is sound really odd, and I know I'm gonna lose a lot of people when I say this, but I feel as if it's just like the Modern Warfare 2 ACR. And I know that sounds a bit weird, but for whatever reason, it just reminds me of it, and I guess it's because of that reason I kinda like the weapon. And now because of the buff, and I'm not quite sure what they did, it feels like the recoil is more manageable, and it feels if they do a bit more damage. I'm not quite sure though. And for the life of me, I don't feel like looking it up. Now, the FAD, I kind of use it on maps like Terminal, Fallen, stuff like that, where I get a lot of medium to close-up range kills, but at the same time there could be long-range engagements too. So that's where I've been feeling like the FAD excels at. Meanwhile, for the rest of the time, like maps like Hard Hat, Lockdown, all that, I tend to be using the UMP. However, Lockdown is a bit of a special map, as I tend to use the FAD there too, and I should have known that guy was there. I should have. All of my Modern Warfare 2 experience should have screamed, "Look up there," but whatever. Now, the UMP, I have really been enjoying this weapon. Well, you're not going to be seeing me use it right now, but my last gameplay, you guys got to see me use it, and I've been really enjoying the UMP. In fact, I consider it one of the better weapons in the game now. I still don't quite put it at the same caliber as the PP90 Rapid Fire or the MP7. I still think those are the better SMGs overall. However, I feel as if the UMP now has its own category almost. And I'm not quite sure what it is. It kind of feels like a hybrid between an assault rifle and SMG, and not so much like the MP7 is, where it's good at long range. I mean that it is somewhat good at close range, and it's somewhat good at medium range. So it takes kind of the personality of both and puts them together. Not quite as well as the MP7 does, but is now extremely usable, and I enjoy it immensely. I have done fairly well with it over the last 3 days. And then there's the MP5. Now, the MP5, I'm enjoying this weapon. I feel as if it's now a viable weapon. And tree is in my window. But anyway, the MP5 is now a very viable weapon. However, it feels like a really weird weapon to me. Before I got extended mags, I kept on saying, it just means extended mags, and it'll be a really good weapon. Then when I got them, and I did realize it was a good weapon. However, it just, because of the fire rate and because of the damage, it doesn't quite feel there. It kind of feels as if it's between, it kind of feels as if it's in a gray area between the P90 and the PP90, and that is really not good at range, and you get away with a few kills of medium range. You tell it was meant for close range, however, it does not excel at close range. It just means that it feels as if it needs an extra little push, and I'm contemplating using rapid fire on it, but it's not like the P90 where it has the extra ammo built in, so it's not like I can just put on rapid fire and not have to worry. The MP5 has a rather short clip at 30 rounds, so that's not sure that's average, but it just doesn't feel as if it's really all there in terms of being an SMG, if that makes any sense. I am going to continue using it as I do like the weapon, but it feels as if it's in a little gray area where it's not quite sure what it wants to be. And that's honestly just my feeling. And yeah, I kind of want to know your opinions on the weapon buff down below. Oh, and in terms of the PM9, I'm sure it's gotten stronger. I've been killed by it plenty of times. However, I won't use it just because the iron sights are so ugly, and I don't generally like to use red dot sights or anything. The FAD is the exception, though. Well, anyway, guys, this has been the gameplay. We lose by 1 point, and I had a extremely respectable score of 44-4. Well, as always, peace out.